Welcome to the World Lovers Ministries International. I'm your host, your friend, and your servant in Christ Jesus, Jeremiah Ola Yode Awesome. I'm so excited to be with you again this week. I thank you for taking the time to join me. I want to talk about two aspects of our ministries today. Our ministries are unique in two important ways. Number one, we do not solicit for funds from anyone, from anywhere, from any part of the world. Number two, we are not just dedicated to your spiritual development. Of course, we are interested in 5 or 6 main areas of your life. We are interested in your professional development. We are interested in your spiritual development. We are interested in your emotional development. We are interested in your physical development. We are interested in your personal development, and of course in your psychological development. Those are the two things that makes our ministries unique, and to the glory of God, we're getting grants in India where we have at least about 19% of our audience, they are from India, and then about 12% of our audience from Indonesia, about 7% of our audience from the United States of America, and about 6% of our audience from the United Kingdom, and to the glory of God, 3% of our audience from Pakistan. Would you believe that? God is truly, truly amazing. Today, I want to speak on a topic that will cut across the hearts of our young ones, and even the well-established in their professional lives. What I'm going to teach about today is something that will be of benefit to the body of Christ, especially Christendom, and will be of benefit to other people as well. So the topic is the CV that lands a great job. Yes, you heard me right. The CV that lands a great job. Of course, I work as, to the glory of God, as Director of Finance in healthcare and other social sector. And of course, recently, we were looking for an assistant accountant, and I was blown away and amazed by the poor CV that I received. And I think that's what the Lord used to prompt this teaching, so that I can be a blessing to all our young ones. The job market competition is fiercer and tougher than most of the young people anticipate. Only candidates who go the extra mile to stay ahead of the game will be successful in landing a great job. It's your life and future. So it's worth the extra work that you will put in. Do not adopt lazy and indifferent approaches to your CV. Your CV is a mirror representation of your character, your personality, your strengths, your skills, your qualifications, your achievements, and even your future directions in life. Show keen preparation for life through your CV. Your CV is the difference between success and failure. That's so true, no matter how you look at it. Today, we're going to learn 7 important lessons. Number 1, I'll give you an overview of my own background. Number 2, I'm going to talk about my success story. Number 3, we're going to learn what we call PGA at the top, which stands for plans, goals, and actions. Number 4, you must not show desperation in your job search. Yes, you heard me right. You must not show desperation in your job search, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. Number 5, you must broaden your horizons through knowledge of the job market and the industry that you intend to work in. And number 6, I'm going to offer my candid advice. And number 7, of course, you have the question, how can I know that my CV is good enough? I'm going to, at the end of this lecture, to the glory of God, at the end of it, I'm going to answer that important question. It's absolutely important for you to know how to communicate. I'm amazed at the poor grasp of the English language that is cropping up in our society. People don't know the difference between your, you are. People say things like you're welcome. Your is a relative personal pronoun which can be used for your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, your auntie, your uncles, whatever the case may be. But I'm amazed that people don't even know the difference between your and you are. People are saying you're welcome instead of you are welcome. And a lot of people, even in Great Britain, are saying things like, when I was at college. No, art is used relative to your position. So when someone asks you a question, where are you? Then it's appropriate to use the word art, because art shows your relative position, where you are at that specific moment in time. So people are saying, when I was at the university. No, that's wrong. That's absolutely incorrect. When I was in the university. And of course, when you have poor grasp of the English language, if your communication is not at the top level, it's going to reflect your style of English. And your CV will not be good at all. Because obviously, I don't want you to tell me how great you are, how hardworking you are. I want you to express that in your CV. I want to see all that you have accomplished. If you're a great communicator, don't tell me that you're a great communicator. At least I'm a human being. Leave that judgment to me. Let me see that in your CV. And of course, most of the CV that have landed on my table a couple of weeks ago, because we are recruiting at the moment for an assistant accountant. Of course, to the glory of God, I work as finance director in the healthcare sector. So most of this CV, of course, I've looked at about 100 CVs at the moment, and I haven't found one single CV to say, yes, let's call this candidate for an interview. That's how bad it is. And that's the reason why I'm recording this message, because a lot of our youths can benefit a lot from what CV is all about. So the 7 things we're going to learn. So let's talk a little bit about my background. Of course, you might be asking the question, is this guy qualified to talk about CV at all? Of course, when I talk a little bit about my background, of course, you're going to know if I'm qualified to talk about this kind of subject or not. To the glory of God, I'm a Christian and a member of Christ Life Church at Selyoke, Birmingham, United Kingdom. A qualified accounts technician with BSc Honours degree in Accounting and Finance from Technological University of Dublin, Ireland. A member of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA. An MBA from Esteem Business School, Birmingham, United Kingdom. And a Doctor of Business Administration candidate at the University of Derby, United Kingdom. I worked in finance department at Coca-Cola, SAP, Ireland, Tarmac, Grant Thornton, UK LLP, the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust, and Allied Irish Bank. As I said before, I currently work as finance director in the health and social care sector. Of course, my profile is on LinkedIn. You can connect with me, Ola Fatai. Oscar Lima Alpha, that's Ola. And Fatai Frederick Alpha Tango Alpha India. Of course, I'm a bona fide and a very proud Nigerian. Now, let's talk a little bit about my success story. Coming all the way from Africa, of course, Nigeria. 2 things changed my life. 2 decisions changed my life. And I want to talk about those 2 decisions before we jump straight into what you need to put on your CV. The first decision that changed my life, the decision to leave Nigeria at the age of 18. My mother didn't have to make that decision for me. My father didn't have to make that decision for me. God just gave me the wisdom and the vision to see that I really didn't have any future in Nigeria. So at the age of 18, I left the country. The second decision that changed my life, of course, when I found myself on the shores of Europe, I was selling drugs, doing credit card fraud, name it, all sorts of bad things because I wanted to make money. But then I had to sit down and advise myself. Was this the right way or the way to doom? So I had to make another decision. The decision to quit the life of crime and to go back to school. So I had to start from scratch. So through many years of preparations, of developing myself through the education systems in the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom, taking reading outside of my profession to the highest level. I read so many books, leadership books, motivational books, business management books, books on management, books on public speaking, you name it. And I've got 3 books that I'm going to introduce to you as we carry along. Then I learned to develop my character and personality through rigorous learning on the job. I stayed away from criminality and chose to build my reputation through hard work and complete dedication to my profession. I built a rich history of work experience and good references from my previous employers. Serious motivation, hunger, thirst, and the determination to be successful. Ongoing professional, educational, and personal development to stay ahead of the game. It really doesn't matter what part of the world you come from, what part of the world you came from. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what you've got and what you can offer prospective employers. That's absolutely very important. So now, let's look at the CV that lands a great job. You must have what we call PGA at the top. P stands for plans. G stands for goals. A stands for actions. It is very, very important. You must have plans to develop your communication skills. It must be spot on in order for you to write a good CV and cover letter. Use your developed communication skills to write your CV and cover letter. Have plans for interview techniques and preparations. Have plans to broaden your knowledge of specific industry you want to work in. Have plans on how to be aware of current development in the specific industry of your choice. Have plans for job opportunities and market awareness. Be on top of your social media accounts. Have a detailed plan of the type of position you would love to apply for and the type of industry. Have plans to consider the reputation of the companies you wish to apply for jobs and plans for your future growth within the company of your choice. It's very important. People take it with lukewarm attitude and think that you don't have to have plans in order to have a great CV. That's a great error. It's a great mistake. Don't do that. The job market is saturated with opportunities, but you need to be able to make yourself available to take those opportunities by having a good CV. So the goals, you need to set goals. Now you set goals on how to execute your plans through excellent CV and cover letter. Learn interview techniques and preparation beforehand. Start targeting companies for job opportunities. That's very important. When I first came to the shores of Europe, I had to buy 3 important books, and these books, they've really helped me. Of course, Simon Elfer, a doctor, Strictly English, the correct way to write. I had to buy this book because it teaches you, the declension of noun, the conjugation of verbs. It teaches you about adjectives, everything, how to use English properly. And that's why it says the correct way to write. The correct way to write. It's very important that you are able to write clearly. And also, I got this book, How to Write Tools for the Craft. Not only that, I only have to go the extra mile to also buy this book as well. A Rutledge Creative Writing Course book. So those 3 books helped me to start developing my communication skills. So now you need to set goals on how to execute your plans through excellent CV and cover letter. You learn interview techniques and preparation beforehand. You start targeting companies for job opportunities. Ruthlessly, now we talk about the actions you're going to take. Ruthlessly follow companies' vacancies. First, read about the company. Read their job requirements. Read their job description. If you don't have what they are looking for, please don't waste your time applying, thinking that they will look after you. It doesn't work like that. Your CV is the only tool and means of selling yourself. Make no mistake about it. Your CV has a voice that can be very loud and clear to prospective employers. You might think, oh, nobody is going to find out that. Trust me, they will find it out. The true mirror of your character and personality. Your CV is the true mirror of your character and your personality. Some points to note about your CV. It is very important for you to encapsulate your strengths, your skills, your accomplishment, your academic achievement, and what you can offer the company through carefully worded selling points in a powerful summary. You need to declutter your language. Use clear, precise, concise, and powerful verbs. Listing previous job duties is common error, mistakes that a lot of people make, but that don't really add value to your CV. Condense your CV to 2 pages maximum. The recruiter don't have time to go through a 6-page CV. No, you need to condense it down. Tidy up your CV. Don't leave loose ends, making employers to start second-guessing your job application. State the companies you've worked with and where they are based. Also, state your education, the institution where you had your education. State it. State the years from this period to this period. Explain any gaps with concrete reasons. Don't leave employers second-guessing. If you have gaps in your CV, of course, you can tell maybe for that 2 years of your life, you were not doing anything, you were traveling all around the world, or you were out of work or whatever. Just put a clear note to explain the gap in your CV. Don't let employer do all the work. You need to do that work yourself. A lot of employers are not really patient. They don't have that patience to be looking at your CV the whole day. They've got thousands of applications. So do yourself a good service. Don't do yourself a disservice by leaving gaps that you've not explained. That won't give you maximum opportunity at all. And then tips and techniques for interview preparation. Thoroughly research about the company online. Thank God that we've now got website. We can go on Google and search anything. Prepare and answer the questions that you feel they may ask you using the STAR technique. Situation, task, action, and the result. That's what we call STAR technique. What was the situation? Okay, what was the task? And what was the action you took? And what was the result? STAR technique. Use STAR technique to prepare for questions. Plan your route to the interview and make sure that you are familiar with the route at least a day before your interview. This is the biggest mistake a lot of people make. They are not so familiar with the route. They don't even know how long it's going to take them to get to the place they are having their interview. And on that morning, you are running around helter-skelter, you're missing your way, and lo and behold, you're already stressed and depressed. How are you going to perform well at the interview? Know your interview. Know the place, the location of your interview at least a day before. Know your CV by heart and be prepared to answer any questions the interviewer might ask. Prepare at least 10 questions to ask them, especially the what, the why, the how, the where, the when questions about the company. How long have you been with the company? Ask them questions like that. How did you decide to join the company? Why did you decide to join the company? Where do you see the company in the next 10 years? What have you achieved for the company since joining? When can I expect to hear the outcome of this interview? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask employers tough questions to establish if they are also the best fit for your career progression as well. Don't just be desperate. Do not be desperate, please. And I'll tell you the reason why in a minute, why it is not good for you to be desperate in your job applications. So the fourth point we're now going to look at, number 4, you must not willy-nilly show desperation in your job search by simply applying for all jobs and hoping that one day you will be lucky. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. Every rejection from employers will demoralize you, will demotivate you, will discourage you, will kill your self-esteem, will destroy your confidence. It will depress you. You will easily lose hope. That's why you must not be willy-nilly, just applying for anything. You must not be willy-nilly. Just, you haven't read the job requirements, you haven't read the job description, you haven't read the qualifications they are looking for. You know what? I'm just so desperate. I need a job. You just start applying for everything, anything. Oh, it doesn't work like that. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. And if you're going to do it that way, it is going to have a negative effect, a negative impact on you. I just mentioned it. The negative impact that it's going to have on you. You're going to be demoralized. After so many rejections, you're going to be easily demotivated. You're going to be discouraged. And you're going to kill your self-esteem. You're going to destroy your confidence. You're going to depress you. It's going to depress you. You will easily give up and you will easily lose hope. So don't do that. Be practical. Do your research. Aim for the kind of companies that you want to work with. Aim for the positions that you think you are capable of filling. Aim for good positions, and don't just willy-nilly say, you know what? Don't sell yourself short because you're looking for a job. If you're well qualified, you have a degree, please don't sell yourself short because you're looking for a job just for the sake of earning money. No, it doesn't work like that. And those are the kind of mistakes that a lot of candidates make. And I'm teaching this because I don't want you to make the same mistake. And number 5, you must learn to broaden your horizons and knowledge of job market. There are huge opportunities for candidates who dare to differentiate themselves from others. Of course, there are huge job opportunities for those who dare to differentiate themselves from others. When I went for a job interview as director of finance, of course, I worked in the health sector for some time, and of course, I was much interested in knowing the regulation that actually affects the health industry. So I had to read widely. I had to read about HSCA, Health and Social Care Act Regulation 2008. And there are 4 important regulations in that HSCA. 4 important regulations. Regulation 12 talks about safe care and treatment. And Regulation 13 talks about safeguarding service users from abuse and improper treatment. And Regulation 17 talks about good governance. And Regulation 19 talks about fit and proper person employed. So when I went to the interview, of course, because I read a lot about, the industry, I know a lot of these regulations, trust me, because of the extra mile that I had to go, I was able to stand ahead of other candidates. Of course, most of the other candidates were also qualified accountants as well. Most of them have many years of experience. But at the panel interview, there was something about me. I was overly confident, and I didn't even want to go for that job. Because I had a job I was doing at the time, and I said, no, I wasn't interested. And very early in the morning, God woke me up and said, Ola, I want you to go for this job. I opened that door. Said, well, okay, Lord. Then I had to prepare for the interview. I prepared 18 questions. Of course, this board of directors had so many questions for me as well. Leadership questions, technical questions, interpersonal questions, problem-solving questions, you name it, all type of questions. Because, of course, you can't be the director of finance of an organization if you're not really a good leader. It will be very difficult. Of course, because of my African background, of course, from Nigeria, they wanted to just weigh me everywhere. They asked me so many questions on everything. Just name it. On leadership, communication skills, everything they asked me. And then at the end of the interview, they said, have you any questions for us? I said, yes, I do. I opened my bag and pulled out my notes, 18 questions. Now it was time for me to interview them as well, to find out if they were the right fit for my own, professional development, The kind of mindset that they've got. Of course, those kind of questions, the way they answer my questions will tell me if I can really work with them. And to the glory of God, they answered those 18 questions. And let me tell you something. They were surprised. They were amazed. And my last question, I said, when will I hear about the outcome of this interview? They said in about a week's time, because we've interviewed so many people and we still got other people to interview as well. I thank them for their time and walk out. Lo and behold, less than an hour later, they were already ringing me that they've offered me the job. Wow. I just left the interview. It wasn't barely an hour that I left the interview. And here we are, they're calling me and say, look, they've already told me that they've got other candidates to interview as well. They've interviewed other candidates. But then they just called me and said, you know what? We want to offer you this position. I said, wow. I couldn't believe that. You know why? When I started working in the company, I discovered something. I discovered that they had a long list that they had to tick. If every single one that came for the interview, your communication skills, your leadership skills, they ticked everything. And when it got to mine, because I could see the folder where they kept everything, they put it in mine, all the things that I did. And why was I successful at that interview? It was simply because I went the extra mile. Because I work in the health industry, I was much more interested in the regulation that affects the health industry. And so I had to read widely. And because I knew those 4 important regulations, I was able to stay ahead of all the candidates. And I got the job. That's why it's so very important for you not to be lazy in doing your research about the industry, about the market, what affects that industry. Find out what affects that industry. How can you make a difference? How can you make an impact? All these things, they are absolutely very important if you want to be able to get a great job. So number 5, we looked at 4 important lessons. Now number 5 that we're going to look at, my number 5, I think that's my candid advice. Number 5, my candid advice. Number 5. So, yes, we spoke about number 5, broaden your horizons through accurate knowledge of the job market and the industry you are in. So number 6, we're going to look at my advice. My advice, if you're still looking for a job, my advice by your CV. The competition is tough. Don't be lazy to do a good job with your CV and cover letter. Believe in your strengths, your skills, your abilities, and be confident in your appearance. Remember, it's your future and a lifetime opportunity. So take it seriously like a full-time job. Don't ever be desperate to sell yourself short. Be patient and resilient with your job search. The right opportunities will come along. Be determined to be successful no matter the setbacks. Keep going until you land that big job. Number 7, you might say, how can I know? After all the hard work, how can I know that I have a good CV? I'm going to tell you how you can know that you have a good CV. Your CV will generate lead. Yes, you heard me right. Your CV will generate lead. You will get interviews. You will get calls, even from agencies, that will show that you have an outstanding CV. Your CV will also land good jobs. Your CV will land good jobs, absolutely. So give your CV to someone that is well experienced, someone that is a professional, someone that it's high up the hierarchy of learning, someone that is much more educated than you are. If you are able to get one of them to help you review your CV, my goodness, you hit the jackpot. Of course, what they're going to tell you about your CV, you need to take it into consideration and make a lot of changes as well. And also, don't use the same CV. Wow. The same cap don't fit all. Nah. It doesn't work like that. You can't use same CV for every single job. That's why I said you can't be lazy with your CV. It's your life that we are talking about. You need to read the job description. You need to tailor your CV to suit their requirement, to suit their job description. That's when you stand a better chance. You can't use one CV for every job. Oh, it's accounting job. Boom, it's accounting job. Boom, it doesn't work like that. If you do that, it's going to go in the bin. Boom, you throw it out, it goes in the bin. Be diligent. Have plans. Have goals. And take action. You need to sit down. Don't rush things. Look at the company. Look at the job requirements. Look at the educational qualifications they're looking for. Look at the job description. Then you sit back and you look at your own CV. Have you got the strengths? Have you got the skills that they are looking for? Have you got the qualification that you're looking for, that they are looking for? You put all of those things together and you come up with your own powerful portfolio. It's your portfolio. Your CV, it's your portfolio. You need to constantly sit down and review your own CV in line with your job application. You need to review your CV in line with your job application. One cap doesn't fit all. Take your CV, review it, look at the job details, look at it. Read it carefully, pay attention. I'm amazed in our world, people no longer pay attention. And for some of you that really, really want to develop yourself further, you want to take your communication skills to another level so that you can be able to function even in a professional environment. It's very important to read books. At least every year I read about 50 books. Every month I read at least an average of 4 books every month. So some of my books that I want to really introduce to you that will help you a lot. You can see this one. All right. This is on leadership. And also Peter G. Nothouse, it's also on leadership. I have some good books on leadership. Leadership is an Art by Max Dupree. It's another good book. $1 Trillion Coach, Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell, most of the companies in America, this man was really behind their success. Google, Amazon, most of all these people. It was this man that was behind the brain behind the whole thing. But your man is late now. Rest in peace. Bill Campbell. So this is really on leadership. Also, you have books like The Winning Attitude. You need to read books. They will help you to develop yourself. The leader within you, making a leadership change. This is absolutely important. Cross-cultural servanthood. For Christians, I want to go the extra mile. And also, we have The Connected Leader. The Reconnected Leader. These are good books that will truly, truly help you. And also True North. True North is an important book about leadership. True North. Focus on Leadership. This is another good book. And also we have Dale Carnegie, The Art of Public Speaking. The Art of Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. We also have How to be Brilliant at Public Speaking. How to be Brilliant at Public Speaking. So these are some of the books that I read a lot. The Gospel of Wealth, of course. The life lessons and rules for success. Of course, you know your man there. Influential individual, of course. I don't need to tell you more about him. Warren Buffett is one of the richest guys in the world. The Millionaire's Fast Lane, So read books. Think and Grow Rich, the original classic. Just read books. It will help you to develop your communication skills. You can communicate at the top level, you know. And this one here, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. George S. Clason, The Richest Man in Babylon. You know, all these are all good books. As a Man Thinketh. The Rules of Wealth. The Rules of Wealth by Richard Templar. All these are all good books that will really, really change your life. They will turn your life around for good. And also, Peter Blair Henry, Turn Around, you know. Third World Lessons for First World Growth. Turn Around. Strategy Without Design by Robert Chia. Strategy Without Design by Robert Chia. Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear. Okay? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Beyond Neutrality. This book is also very good. It's about conflict resolution. Read books. They will help you a lot to develop your skills. Making Leadership Change by Thomas North Gilmore. All these books will help you. You know, I read outside of my home profession. I'm a chartered accountant to the glory of God, but I read widely out of my profession. That has helped me to be where I am today. So until we meet again next time, thank you for your time. I hope you've learned a lot from how you structure your CV. You must have a summary at the very top of it. And don't just list all the duties that you have done. Put into it what you have accomplished. Put into it. Let it be in your CV, all your accomplishment. You know how to structure your accomplishment, because all you are looking for, you're looking for how to sell yourself to the next employer. So you must be absolutely mindful of how you're going to do that. And it's very, very important. So if you pay attention, if you need help, I don't mind. I'm more than happy to help. Email me, send me your CV. And of course, that's what this ministry is all about. This ministry is all about helping people. It's all about making people develop professionally. It's all about making people to develop personally. It's all about making people to develop spiritually. It's all about making people to develop emotionally. So I would be more than happy to give you my time. Of course, I'm a very busy man. But when if a young man has that interest and he wants to go the extra mile, trust me, I'll go the extra mile with you. I don't mind staying the whole night. If you're that serious, I will do a good job as well. The Lord bless you. And until we meet again next time, I'm your host, your friend, and your servant in Christ Jesus, Jeremiah Olayode Awesome. Thank you. Take care of yourself. God bless. Bye-bye.